Shabbat Shalom. And, you know, with the grace of technology, we have the ability to connect with you in this way. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to be present with you musically and in spirit, because we miss you guys. And we are glad that we can be with you in this way.
I want to also say Shabbat Shalom. My heart has been heavy missing all of our community and our togetherness, so I'm very happy that we can give this gift to you, and worst case scenario, we'll keep doing it this way until we can all come back together as a group. But we hope that you can feel our love and our energy, and we miss you as much as you miss us.
And Shabbat Shalom. Stay well, stay healthy. I hope to see you all in person really soon.
We're actually going to start with a song that is appropriate to start a Friday night Shabbat. And please, if you are watching us in your living room or in the kitchen, just get up and dance and move around, because we can still be in community this way.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for inviting us into your home for this Shabbat. Usually we invite you here in the sanctuary, into the Bet Aleph, the home of the one, our home, your home too. This Shabbat we get to spend at your house, at your place. We're going to start where we always start, as you well know. We're going to start with lighting candles. So you might want to actually pause the recording right now and find a couple candles to put on the table or somewhere near you so that we can do this ritual together. I'm going to give you just a second to do that. Click on the pause button right now, and then we'll continue in just a second. At every Shabbat, I invite all of us to think about what it is before we kindle the Shabbat candles, to think about what it is that we would be kindling candles for on this Shabbat. So exceptionally this week, we cannot invite you to join us on the bima here to light the candles. But this is also just our first time. We might have to do this again, maybe early April. And so this time I'm going to just invite you in your heart to think about what it is you want to create energies around right now. But I'm also going to invite you for next time, if there need to be a next time, that you email the office before our recording, which will be about in 2 weeks from now, and let us know the names of those you would like us to light a candle for. And instead of having just 2 candles next Shabbat, I'll have the full candelabra, and we'll light candles for you in the sanctuary on this Shabbat. But for now, let's look inside of ourselves and find the prayer, the blessing, the yearning that we need and we feel we want to kindle on this Shabbat. What blessing is missing for us? What blessing you want to see in your life these days? Blessing for healing, blessing for community. And we cover our eyes to remind ourselves that that which we are blessing awakens within our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. The theme for our Shabbat from this week's Torah portion has to do with creating sanctuary, creating sacred space. How apropos for us to be talking about creating sacred space when all of us who are here right now are recording this in an empty sanctuary, which I must say is a little bit awkward. So the songs that we have selected will, as you will see, open our hearts to, in fact, the creation of community together. Even though we may be apart physically, we are always connected at the heart. The next song is Shivti Beveit Adonai. I dwell moment to moment, all the time, aware and awake in the presence of the One, in the house of the One.
Shivti bebeit Adonai, kol yemei chayai,
we'll continue with the worship part of our service, our Shabbat service together. We'll continue with the Barchu, the Shema, and the Ve'ahavta. When we stand together to chant the Barchu, we seek to face east. East is the place where the sun rises. So look around in your house, try to figure out where the sun rises. That might be a question you never ask yourself. And face in that direction as we will be facing the ark to sing those blessings. Join me from your home. Baruchu et Adonai Amevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. Continue as always with the 6 words that are the central affirmation of our tradition. The 6 words that are the mantra of our tradition, of our meditation practice. The 6 words of the Shema. Join me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel, the Eternal manifests as all that is. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name. The splendor of its presence shines eternally. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai be seated again. We continue with the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמן.
So this week's Torah portion, actually this week's Torah reading, merges the last two Torah portions of the book of Exodus. And these last two Torah portions that we read together on this Shabbat are the two Torah portions that speak of the, like I mentioned earlier, the building of the tabernacle, the creation of sanctuary amidst the traveling 12 tribes of Israel. We are still at the foot of Mount Sinai. We're about to go on our journey, but God asks us, "Ve'asu li mikdash ve'shachanti betocham." Let them make me a holy place. Let them make me a sanctuary that I might dwell within. And we receive through Moses the blueprint of how to create a tabernacle. That includes the Holy of Holies, the place where the Ark of the Covenant, which contains the tablets of the Ten Commandments, will be held. And with that portable sanctuary, with that portable temple, we will travel through the wilderness. And I just love when the Torah portion, or the reading from the Torah, really brings us exactly and immediately to the challenge we are faced with. It's sometimes uncanny. And I think this week is especially uncanny, because Ve'asu li mikdash ve'shachanti betocham, let them make me a sacred space that I may dwell within. This year, this moment, this Shabbat, I take it as a great challenge. It is a challenge that is addressed to all of us. It is addressed to, maybe particularly to some of us who try to lead spiritual community? How do you create sacred space? How do you create sanctuary where right now in this moment of our recording this Shabbat for you, you are not here? How do we create sanctuary? How do we create sacred space in looking at the emptiness of the space I am looking out to right now? How do I, specifically as a spiritual leader, how do we, musicians, how do we, our staff of Bet Aleph, how do we continue to nourish and nurture a sense of community when all of us are confined almost to our homes, unable to gather together, unable to see each other, unable to pray together, to sing together, to think together, to reflect together? It is really an incredible challenge that this injunction, dafka, especially this week, comes to us from the Torah portion. I remember some years ago, I was still probably my first or second year at Bet Aleph. I was the rabbinic intern at the time. I was invited to take part of a community meeting that the Jewish Federation was hosting. Actually took place in one of the synagogues here. And they had invited from the East Coast a specialist in community development, how to grow your community, how to plan for the future of your community. And for about 2 to 3 hours of us being in this room with that teacher, with that East Coast community leader, we only heard that the only way Jewish communities or any spiritual community might be able to survive was if we moved our operations online. That the future of religious communities, in fact, was a future that would be transferred to an online portal. That was 15 years ago, maybe something like that, what leadership thought the future might be. That we should all take steps to slowly merge our worship, our classes, our everything we do as a spiritual community to do this online. And I left this room after this 3 hours of listening to those experts who came all the way from the East Coast saying, never in a million years. I always maybe thought of myself as a little bit of a rebellious child. I think I've always been that kind of child. And I think of our community here, Bet Aleph, as also somewhat of a rebellious community. And I feel that spiritual communities specifically have somewhat of a prophetic role. And that prophetic role is to, in fact, not follow the trends, especially when those trends are trends that push us further and further apart from each other. Moving online is a lifestyle that is so isolating, so devoid of human connection and human communication, that in my heart of hearts, I knew at that time that what in fact was going to be needed over the decades of all of the rest of our lives moving online was to in fact create spaces where people could come together face to face, where people could actually be in the presence of each other, have a human physical interaction, true dialogue, a heart-to-heart conversations. And I will continue to believe that because I feel that our communities still are oases for human connectedness that an online world can never provide us. In fact, the ability to be together nurtures our humanity. But not now. In these days, in these weeks, we must choose a different path. We are somehow condemned to, in fact, embrace temporarily the world of virtual reality. And so we will continue to support you however we can through this medium, this online medium. We will continue to rehearse Shabbat services as long as it takes. We will continue to send you little videos of talks and other opportunities to be together online. We will be there for you. But at this point, I'm also reminded of one of my favorite books of all time. A book by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. A very, very pithy book. You would read it over just one Shabbat. In fact, that book is called The Sabbath. And it's one of the most gorgeous books ever written. If you have never read it, find it on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it for very cheap, or wherever you find your books online. It's a very old book, so I'm hoping it's in affordable versions for all of us. If you already have read it, maybe find it somewhere on your bookshelf in your home, dust it off, and read it again. What Rabbi Joshua Heschel is inviting us to do and to understand is that as Jews have lost 2,000 years ago the temple in Jerusalem, the physical sanctuary where we all gathered together, we have had to make our religion, make our spiritual practice like the tabernacle. We have had to make it portable again. We have had to take it with us wherever we have been. And though we have lost a sense of place with the Temple Mount in Jerusalem and the temple, we have gained, as Rabbi Joshua Heschel highlights and explains, a sense of time. And one of the most famous sentences in that book, Rabbi Joshua Heschel compares our Shabbat, the Sabbath, to, I don't know if I would agree with the term, but to a cathedral in time. A temple, I would say, in time. And so my invitation to you, as you read through this amazing book, is to find the Shabbat in the time, in the days, in the weeks about to unfold. I know it's a gift that we have, that we can take a break on a Friday night, drive to a place, and gather together in a spiritual container. It's a true gift. And now that we don't have it, it's even more true to us, that gift that we have. But we're going to have to bring that home, to take that and create that sacred space in sacred time. So perhaps now is really the time to look at this Shabbat concept and look at the ways that we could carve that time for ourselves to nourish our being, to nourish our soul, to ground ourselves in the midst of the great turmoil that surrounds us, the whirlwind of bad news, the invitations to fear, the invitations to panic, and to carve that time for ourselves, for the people around us, but also really for our own mental health. So create a Shabbat in time, in your life. If you can't do it on a Saturday, do it on a Sunday. If you can't do it on a Sunday, find time during the week, an hour here, an hour there, to re-soul, to ground yourself anew. I want to also add one more thing. When we gathered together at the meditation retreat so long ago, at the end of January, we set out a practice of gemilut chasadim, of loving kindness. The practice of loving kindness is one of the 3 pillars of our Jewish tradition. And now more than ever, I call upon you to practice gemilut chasadim, acts of loving kindness. What do I mean by that? We all know in our lives, we all know in our community, we all know in the Bet Aleph community, people who live alone, people who might not be in the best shape, who might have, who might be frail, that their health might not be as healthy as ours. Now is the time for each of us to pick up the phone and reach out to them, to tell them we are here, to tell them they're not alone, to ask them if they need something. Perhaps they are afraid of leaving home, or of going to the grocery store, or of taking care of some of the needs they have, the post office, the bank, whatever that is. And perhaps we can take that on because maybe we are a little bit younger or healthier, whatever the case may be. This is how we create and continue to create sacred space, sacred community. So don't hesitate and extend a hand. Sometimes just a quick phone call to say hello, to have your voice been heard by somebody else. You know, this past Shabbat, as we were sitting around the Shabbat table, my wife got her phone and FaceTimed her parents in Minneapolis. And it was a gorgeous moment to be able to share with them. We were lighting the candles at that time, and then we said the blessing over wine and bread, and they were with us. So if you have FaceTime or something like that, that you can reach out to somebody next Shabbat and invite them into your home, invite them into your lighting candles, whatever we can do, let's not hesitate now to do that. Now more than ever, we need to extend ourselves and support one another. V'shachanti betocham. V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Let them make me a holy place, that I might dwell within them. Let them make me a holy place, that I might also dwell in between them. Shabbat Shalom.
And I will be
I'd like to invite you for a few moments of meditation to create sacred space within us and awaken to the divine presence, yearning to be known. And so you might want to close your eyes and find your breath. And every time you exhale, see if you can relax a little more. See if you can let go a little more. Releasing the muscles of around the belly. Releasing any tension we might find in our shoulders, our hands, our face. We are tabernacles, each and every one of us, portable sanctuaries, traveling sanctuaries. Each and every one of us, a container for that which is most sacred, that which is most holy. And in our hearts of hearts dwells the Holy of Holies. In our hearts of hearts is the Ark of the Covenant. The covenant that invites us to awaken, to know the truth behind the stories of ego, the illusion of separation, the delusion of our being a separate entity, isolated from every other entity. We are traveling tabernacles. Can we know with this next breath, the breath of the Holy One, breathing us, breathing as us, through us, Can we let go of this false sense of separate self and feel into the beating of our hearts as the heart of the universe, the heart of life with a capital L, pulsating throughout the entire cosmos. Can we know ourselves to be but an expression a manifestation of that oneness of being? Can we know all others to be just that as well? I am often reminded as I feel into the sensations of the breath coming in through my nostrils of the biblical image of God blowing into Adam's nostrils to bring him to life. And as I inhale this next breath, I too breathe in the breath of God, keeping me alive another moment. There is more to us than meets the eye. We are more than we have convinced ourselves to be. We are the manifest divine presence. And through us, love and compassion, care, and loving kindness become manifest into this world. Through us, all the opposite characteristics can also become manifest into this world. And the questions are, masters always ask us, which of the two wolves do you wish to feed? ועשו לי מקדש, ושכנתי בתוכם. Let them remember that they are a sanctuary. And when they do, they will know that I always, always dwell within them. ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם. Let this place for me to dwell, and I will be with you. Make sacred space for me to dwell, and I will be with you. And may this sacred space we remember now ourselves to be. May this vibrating, expanding container of holiness, vibrating beyond the confines of this body, radiating throughout the room in which we find ourselves, pulsating beyond the walls of our dwelling place, radiate throughout our communities, our neighborhoods, throughout our nation, throughout our world to which we are interconnected, with which we are, whose destiny is bound up in our destiny, that all beings might know, remember the sacred space in which they dwell and which they are, that healing might spread throughout our communities, our nation, and our world, that all beings might know the healing of body, the healing of mind, the healing of soul. On this Shabbat, we hold special light of healing for those on our community healing lists. In the days and weeks about to be, I want to invite you to email us to let us know whom else you would want to add to our healing list before our next recording. Same will be true for our memorial list. Since we are not able to get together, email at this point is the way for us to communicate. And we will add those names to our list and pray for those you will add. On this Shabbat, we hold light of healing for Craig Wilson, Daniel Clark, Hillary Wilson, Phyllis Levin, Mike Levin, Farhan Hassan, Yitzchak Leib, Ben Bertha ve'Aharon, Dave Malkoff, Maxwell Bernard, Susanna Davis, David Mark, Rebecca Risman, Jay Rose, Me Lagerberg, Deborah Liebes, Eldon Olson, Janet Crowley, Richard Aharon Ben Chaim, Pat Hoagland, Ellen Lyons, Hirsch Simon, Brooke Hamilton, Dr. Gladys McGarry, Jessica Spiegel, Rivka Bat Reuben and Miriam, Michael Standish, Chuck Bulge. And I invite you to name out loud the names of those you hold in light of healing this Shabbat. Misheberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak וYaakov, מי שברך אמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך וירפא את כל מי שהזכרנו הערב, השבת. ימלא רחמים עליהם, לחזקם ולרפאותם, ברפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. May all you have called out, all the names that we have brought together in this space, in this virtual space between us, may be held in healing, may be held in peace. Holy One, heal us now.
Rifayenu Adonai b'nei Raphael, Hoshienu b'nei Vashea, El Karov l'chol korav, Ach Karov l'reha yisho.
We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Please heal us now. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, refuat shema. Oh, please heal us now. Refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, refuat shema. Heal us now. Heal us now.
Hoshia et amecha uvared et nahalatecha uraem v'nasaem ad ha'olam Misheberach amotenu Misheberach amotenu Adonai Hoshiana. We pray for healing of our people. We pray for healing of
And we'll continue with the Aleinu. And at home, I invite you, as I would do right here if you were here with us, I invite you to please rise. We say together, we are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the one who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being. And on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו And as we are about to share in the mourner's Kaddish on this Shabbat, I invite you to bring to your heart, to your mind's eye, the faces, the smile of those you remember right now. Those who have gone on this journey through life, traveling a little bit by your side. Those who are continuing now on their journey beyond this world. On this Shabbat, we hold special light of memory for those who have made their transition in just recent days and weeks. Dan Klein, Eleanor Gerber, Dr. Janosch Ziegler. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those who have made their transition this past year. Joyce Cobb, Steve Dorn, Jillian Samuel Ansel, Carl Heller, Demetrius Oliver Sullivan, Ann Kohlhoff Klein, Justina Lamphere, Farron Rebecca Loeb, Eva Ruth Ansel, Scott Busby, Larry Lactrop, Angela Babu, Barbara Bell, Robert Paul Litz, Patricia Dohoney, Lori Scooge, Kenneth Klein, Al Kalish, Marty Leeser, Becky Ben, Martin Amadeus Russerts, Don Krupkin, Pamela Mary Bolch, Emma Norton, John Philip Bolch, Teddy Freeman, Virginia Calvo, Marcia Jaffe, Lawton Wapples, Millard Petersky, Deborah Batts, Marion Marika Gordon, Stella Altwies, Mary Rose. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yard site, the anniversary of their transition, happens at this time of the year. Alan Charles Balch, Anthony Bailinson, Barbara Cuban, Cheryl Harris, Ethel Mark, Gary Drapkin, Gordon Reeve Gould, Gustav BenHaim, Henry Zimmerman, Catherine Allwell, Ludwig Ballin, Morton Stahl, Pauline Bernstein, Rose Morris, Sylvia Halpern Edelman, and Wallace Oppenheimer. Join me for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום איכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say, Amen. Before we going to share the Kiddush with you, I'd like to invite you at home maybe to, once again, push on the pause button of the recording and find a little bit of wine or juice, whatever is fitting for you, a nice Kiddush cup if you have one, or any glass, any wine glass will do. And if you don't have a challah with you, a little piece of bread or cracker, something that would do for saying the blessing, the Motzi blessing together. So I'm going to give you a second to do that. Click pause right now and join us right when you are ready. Before we continue with the blessing, I just wanted to share from the bottom of my heart the blessing to have an incredible group of musicians that I put the call out just a few days ago and said, yes, we'll be there, and we want to do that. And as you know, most of them volunteer their time. And so it's an amazing gift to you, to our community, to be able to offer you a Shabbat service. And we're so grateful that you are able to all be here and do that and take the time in your life to be here together. As you notice, we are maintaining the appropriate distance between us. Also, we will not all touch the challah. You'll see this is a little bit different than usual. I also wanted to mention, this was supposed to be a very special Shabbat in all kinds of ways, but one of the ways it was special to us was that we were going to recognize our sound engineer, Kelly, who is also here today, helping us recording this and managing all the sound. Kelly's just celebrated 20 years of being here, the sound engineer, and working at Seattle First Baptist. And I know that they had a party for her, a dinner for, or lunch for her in her celebration. And we virtually are telling you how grateful we are that you are also part of our community and have supported us now for almost a decade. 7, 8 years. I don't know how long we've been here, and hopefully for many years to come. So all this to lead us into more blessing. So if you have found a Kiddush cup at home and a bottle of wine and juice, now is the time for you to pour a little bit of that in your cup. And we'll share the full Kiddush blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav veratzavanu בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים קיוונו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. Now find your challah or your piece of bread. As you can see, we are keeping 6 feet distance between us. And let's bless the bread together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam HaMotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. We'll close with a song for peace, a song for wholeness, a song for harmony. May we all move through the next few weeks with peace in our hearts, wholeness in our thoughts, and harmony in our outreach. And may we all be together back into the sanctuary very, very, very soon. Shabbat Shalom.
shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, be'avulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, be'avulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu.